Hello, this is Neil, professional illustrator and art instructor at masterpaintingnow.com. I have over 300 free tutorials for you to check out, so go ahead and get started. Click on the link and check them out. Right, so the 7 tips of drawing better faces, heads, or people. The first thing I want you to do is pause the video and draw the best face or head that you can right now from the front view. Don't use any references whatsoever. Don't even look at a reference before you start drawing. Just grab your pencil paper and draw. After you've done that, come back to the video, and I hope that you actually did that because doing the exercises is actually part of improving, and that's how you will improve. Then what I want you to do now is follow along with me and draw with me. Right, so step number 1. Step number 1 is the basic shape of the head is roughly an egg shape. Right, so it gets thinner toward the bottom, thicker toward the top. Tip number 2 is how do you know the thickness or the width and the height of that egg? So what I want you to do is draw a straight line, and we're going to divide this line into 3 equal parts. So you just want to imagine those 3 equal parts like so. Another way to do that is just go, okay, I'm going to draw a part. I need to duplicate that part. So make something that's roughly the same length, and I need to duplicate it again. Now I have 3 equal parts. So whatever way works easier for you, then do it that way. The next thing I want to do is imagine the center point of this line here. Take the length of one of these parts and draw it out to the side, like so. And that gives you the width of your egg shape. And you want to draw in your egg shape roughly in, oops. And it's kind of hard drawing in Photoshop zoomed out like that. Right, so you get the idea. And notice my center line isn't quite in the center, so that looks more like in the center. Step number 3. Is how to find the placement of the eyes. Now the eyes are about 6 eyes across. So if you want to get it perfect, take this width here and divide it 6 equal parts, and that's how long an eyeball is. You can also just kind of eyeball it here. Let's give one eyeball across. Okay, sorry about that update thingy. So get one eyeball across. Make the eyeball that same width again. And then another eyeball outward. Now each head is a little different, so you could get another half an eyeball out too, and so you'd have to make your head a little bit wider if you wanted to. So let's go ahead and do that. We'll go ahead and make the head at that widest part another half eyeball out. You don't have to do that, but I'm going to go ahead and do that. And then we'll go ahead and erase everything else we have in here. We don't need those guidelines anymore. This is the ears are going to fit more inside of the head now instead of outside the head, is what's going to happen. And the hairline is going to fit inside the shape as well. So it's 2 different methods, 2 different ways to go about it. Right, tip number 4 is how to get the placement of the nose. The nose, the width of the nose, is going to be an eyeball width apart. The length of the nose is going to be about an eyeball down and a half. This is how I personally like to do it. It also will be almost the halfway point between the center of the eye and down here. It'll be more of the halfway point between like the top of the eye and down to the center. Well, not quite. So I just do an eyeball and a half down. It's just easier, and I think it looks better rather than doing the halfway point between here and here. So don't do the halfway point between here and here. I just don't think that looks as good, and the nose is too far down and long. Next, I like to draw kind of an oval shape here for the nose. So let's go ahead and draw a loose oval shape where the nose is going to kind of fit into. Just helps you remember the nose has this width and everything to it. Tip number 5, and I hope that you're drawing along with me, whether you're using a pencil, a paintbrush, whatever you're using. I hope you're drawing along with me here. To get the placement of the mouth, on the line the eyes were on, put a dot between the two eyes, and connect it to the edges of the nose, and draw a straight line to connect those two dots. Next is then take the center of the eyeballs and draw lines coming straight down. That's the width of the mouth, the very, very edge of the mouth. And right where those lines touch these lines here, where these straight lines come down and touch the triangle, that's pretty much where the top of the lip will be. Then you take your bottom lip and decide how wide you want how big you want your lips to be. You don't want it to be too thin, because if you make it too thin, you're gonna have this really big chin. You don't want too big of a chin. Somewhere around here works. You have that little drop shadow for the lip, and now you have added like a oops. Right. Go back and we can erase some of these guidelines now. We don't need them anymore. And you can see we're starting to get something that looks like a face. Next is tip number 6. Tip number 6 is the placement of the ears and the jawline. So the ears are going to be a little bit higher than the eye, or than the eyes, and it's going to come down to about the nose. We're not going to really worry about drawing any definition of the ear. Just keep in mind the ears from the front view aren't a side view. So you don't get a side view of the ear. Just keep that in mind, right? It's not going to look like that. Unless the person's ears like really, really stick out, but that's pretty rare that someone's ears will stick out that much. How to get the placement of the jaw, or how to get this whole entire jawline and chin line looking more like a person rather than an oval, is you come down to, imagine a line coming straight across from the mouth, from the pretty much the center of the mouth, either here or at the top of the lip. Everyone's a little different. Kind of follow the egg shape to that line, but kind of make it more straight. Take the width of the chin, decide how wide you want your chin to be. It can be a little bit wider than the nose. And then you kind of take this line and kind of connect it to here. This gives you the basic jawline. I'm just erasing some more of these guidelines now that we don't need anymore. Right, so now you can see we have something that looks like a face. Finally is the hairline. That'll be tip number 7. Right, now this is what takes away the illusion that the eyes are in the center of the head. That is, there's equal space above and below the eye is the hairline. The hairline kind of removes that, or kind of gives the illusion that the eyes are actually higher up on the head when they're not. So you kind of want to start by the ears here. Come up between the halfway point between the eyes and the top of the head, and that's going to be about where your hairline will be. Depends if the person's balding or not. Kind of come out with a shape like this, come down. Right, so something like that. There's a bunch of different hairlines, so you can study all the different hairlines. Keep in mind that the hair is going to be a little bit thicker than the actual scalp. So draw the hair also with the thickness here. Right, so that's the basic placement of the hair. Right, so if you've made it to this stage here, you've drawn something that looks like a proper face. At least it's beginning to look like a proper face. Now all you have to do is plug in the individual parts. So you need to learn how to draw eyes properly and plug the eyes where they should be. Learn how to draw a nose properly, plug the nose in. Learn how to draw a mouth, plug the mouth in. Learn how to draw ears, plug the ears in. And then all you have to do is learn the form of the face. I recommend my Master the Human Head and Faces course. That'll bring you all the way to that level. But this is a quick tutorial to get you started. As you can see, you already drew a face that was better than that face you began with, right? Look at the face you began with. Look what we have now. It looks better, correct? Now what I want you to do is go through this process 5 times. Not 4 times, not 6 times, but 5 times. Now after you've gone through this process 5 times, you start from here, here, here. You go through each of the processes or each of the stages, all 7 stages. You can either watch the video again to get there. And once you've done that 5 times, then what I want you to do is to pause the video and draw a face again from your imagination. You're going to notice a difference. You're going to see that your art has already transformed. You've already gotten better. And that's only with 5 exercises. Not 6, but 5 exercises. So just doing it, going through this 5 times, Well, actually 6 times because you went through the first time with me in the video, then I asked you to do additional 5 times. So you went a total of 6 times, then you drew again from your imagination and look at the difference in your face. See, that's what quality teaching does. Quality teaching transforms you into a better artist. And this is just one little simple thing. There's so much more information to learn, so many more exercises to do, and you're going to get better and better and better until you can draw a realistic face in your mind. What you're going to be able to do once you learn how to properly draw eyes and all that, and I do have some tutorials on my site that are free, how to teach eyes and nose and all that, so you can then plug that knowledge into this template that you've learned. So what I'm going to do here as a bonus is I'm just going to fill in some of these blanks here real quick. I'm not going to teach anything about the eyes or anything like that anymore. This is going to be just a simple demonstration that once you get to this stage, all you have to do is plug in some knowledge about the face. It's going to make it a little bit bigger here. This just makes it easier to draw. Right, so just going to kind of erase some of this so it's not as dark. Just going to plug in some of the knowledge about the face. I'm going to keep it more cartoony for the sake of time. See, eyes, they never like are fully visible there. The eyelid where that's where the eye, or the crease where the eyelid folds into. Eyebrow, I'm gonna give them kind of thicker eyebrows here. I'm going to give them kind of a button nose here. Next is the upper lip. So typically guys don't really have much of an upper lip when you draw more cartoony. I'm just going to give them a little bit of a lip. It's going to be a smaller upper lip and then a bigger bottom lip. Again, this is just a very quick rendering for the sake of time of the video. What I'm not doing right now is, keep in mind at this point I'm no longer teaching anything, so I'm just showing a quick demonstration on how you can take this knowledge, and after you learn how to draw all the individual parts, that's all it is. It's just about plugging individual parts into the proper places. And you know, to get cartoon characters and all different kinds of characters, it's all about just taking that core knowledge and exaggerating it, distorting it, and so forth. Minimalizing it. And actually, I'm going to give him a different hairstyle here. I'm going to kind of give him this kind of wavy hairstyle like this. Oops. And then he's going to have some small hairs here. This is just a real-time, quick demonstration showing that with proper teaching, and after you learn the basic shapes that need to go into here, you're going to be able to draw a face. So And these eyes are a little bit close. I could make them a little bit further apart, and I would personally, I like to draw my eyes a little bit farther apart. And so if I notice that they're a little too close, I just make them a little bit farther apart. And keep in mind, some people have eyes that are a little bit farther apart. Some people have eyes a little bit closer together. I kind of show you some strong brow line there. Right, so that's just a quick rendering. I don't want to spend too much more time here, but you get the idea. So take that knowledge now and learn better how to draw eyes and how to draw noses and mouths, and then place all that together onto your figure, and you'll be like, wow, I can now draw faces from my imagination from the front view. And just imagine what you'll be able to draw when you go through all of my courses, which now you can get for a really, really low price of only $39.95 for all my courses. It's a short time bonus, the first 100 people, that's it. Hey, just check out the link to learn more about it. You got to check this out. It's the best deal I've ever had ever. I'm just in a holiday festive mood or something, so check it out. Awesome.